One of the reasons why the government is shut down, Donald Trump cannot negotiate. Donald Trump doesn't know how to make deals. Donald Trump is terrible at what he does. However, he does know how to wield power. Despite his politics, despite who he is as a person, you got to respect certain things about certain people. One thing he can do is wield power. And by wielding power with the federal government, he's been able to scare MAGA in the House and the Senate into doing his bidding. That's why throughout this whole shutdown, they have not been able to get with the deal. That's why Mike Johnson, even though there's a lot of other reasons, one being the Epstein files, and they've been out of work for about, 8-9 weeks now, is because he takes orders from Donald Trump, and he can't govern the House without a say from Donald Trump. Donald Trump agreed with that package that they approved in the House. It goes to the Senate. They can't get past certain rules in the Senate because the Democrats are saying, hey, we are concerned about health care. Let's sit down and negotiate. But you can't because Donald Trump wants this package signed, no other package. So Senator Thune in the Senate is afraid to do any kind of negotiations. That's why he keep putting that thing up for a vote and it keep failing because they are trusting in Donald Trump, not themselves. I say all that to say what's below. Donald Trump last night told the Senate to get rid of the filibuster so that they can start doing everything by majority rule, killing the republic. Don't get me wrong, Democrats have done this also, but for nominations, not for legislation. You can go into history about what they have and have not done. But he just said, let's do the nuclear option, blow up the Senate rules, no negotiations, and just pass whatever legislation. So what does that mean? That means going forward, if Senator Thune does this, that means they control the House and the Senate, the White House and the Supreme Court. By majority vote, they can get anything and everything that they want passed. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do, and there's no room for minority opinion, which a lot of people in the Democrat Party would love to have had when Democrats were in charge. But the reason why the filibuster is there, going all the way back 200 plus years, is so that you don't forget the minority. But this also talks about how Donald Trump cannot negotiate. He wanted to bring the Democrat leaders into the White House before he went overseas. And what happened? Senator Thune, J.D. Vance, and Mike Johnson said, no, we're not going to let you talk to the Democrats without us in the room. Why? They were afraid that once Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries got in there and talked to the president, it was going to be over. He was going to agree with them. You cannot get anything done under Trump unless you're the last person to talk to him. So that's why the Republicans wanted to be in the room while they talked. When you talk about the president being a puppet, that's exactly what Donald Trump is. Because he can't make a decision on his own, which is why he's going nuclear. He doesn't want to negotiate because if he did, he may seem weak. And the one thing about a dictator is they cannot be made to look weak. That's why he's sitting behind the Resolute desk when he does announcements because he don't want people to see those cankles. That's why he put makeup on his hand because nobody and lied about the fact that he shakes hands a lot because he's trying to hide his medical problems. So again, if they do the nuclear option, stand back and stand by. Remember that? Because if you get rid of the nuclear option for this legislation, you have opened it up for the Democrats to do the same thing once they're in power, and you cannot complain. You cannot complain. What do you think?